Let's get it.
Yo, what up, everybody? We're right here with Polo, Cross One, at Flavor of the Year. You know, thank you guys so much for joining us, coming out. Appreciate it so much. I just wanted to get you guys on, ask you guys, a couple of questions that I know the community's been wondering. I'll start with Polo. Cross One is a face really recognized in our scene, but Polo's one of those people that you hear of, but a lot of people don't understand how much he really does behind the scenes.
He's in the shadows.
He's in the shadows, right? He's a mythical creature. If you can, just give us, your a little bit of background, where you're from, and kind of how you got into hip hop.
Grew up in East Los Angeles. Actually grew up in Northeast Los Angeles, in Highland Park to be exact, in the early 80s. If you grew up in LA in the early 80s, you were in the scene, before NWA, hip hop was like a thing, and all my older cousins were into hip hop, whether they were breakers or poppers or what have you. I grew up with listening to when hip hop started, all the Bambaataa and shit like that, and so we were kids in the early 80s, and grew up going to the LA street scene and the car shows and Hollywood and Highland, and before Breaking, the movie Breaking, all those people, we saw them in the streets dancing literally with cardboard boxes. So I have deep roots in LA hip hop, coming from where we come from. Cousins being the dopest poppers, the dopest lockers, the dopest whatever they were, and just always having a rich culture in hip hop. And then fast forward, 1984 probably was the best fucking summer for popping and breaking in LA. What happened in 1984 when the Olympics were here, I don't think we've ever lived that. Literally you drive down the street and there would be poppers and breakers in every single corner. Now you drive down the street of Los Angeles and you see gang members in every fucking corner. But before it was hip hop was a thing, and it was whether it was a fad for certain people or not, it was a real thing. No different than how now you see gang culture. And we were a part of that. And, I guess that's what first planted the seed for me later on in life, in high school, we were dancers. We used to go to an all-age club in Hollywood called Ballistics that was done by the actor David Faustino, who was in the TV show Married with Children, and he used to do an all-age club, and that's where I met my whole crew. will.i.am, Taboo.
I was gonna say, what's the name of your crew?
Well, the name of our crew was called Grassroots, and that's the name of my company. And within Grassroots, there was a lot of crews. There was a crew named Pablo, there was an Aban Clan, which is a tribe beyond a nation. There was another crew named Hobo Conspiracies, and there was we had 5 different, it was a conglomerate of a bunch of crews. And what we did is make music, and more than anything, we were first dancers. We grew up dancing in the LA scene, so freestyle dancing, going to places like Water the Bush and, Staten Hotel and Maryland's back streets in Pasadena. And so we grew up as a LA kid, going from, house parties to hall parties to fucking nightclubs, from nightclubs to fucking, and just evolved from there. And then, eventually in high school, our friends, my best friends, which were the Black Eyed Peas, started making music because we started seeing there wasn't that much money in dancing. And then they became the Black Eyed Peas.
Wow. And
then from that, success, always kept the momentum going, and always gave back to the community, and this is like the quick version of the story. Fast forward, we've become very successful. I'm at the time in high school, between high school and college, I started promoting a lot of events. So I was doing all the biggest hip hop shows in LA. I did a Pac show, I did a Biggie show, I did a fucking KRS-One show, Quick show. I have
Eminem.
Boxes of flyers. Eminem was an opening act for Black Eyed Peas at one of our shows when we played at the Hollywood Palladium. I started as a hip hop concert promoter, and then from there, I started dealing with a lot of managers, and I realized that I could be a manager, that I'm smart enough to be a manager. So then that evolved into me managing the Black Eyed Peas eventually, just from the knowledge and the hustle and the deep roots that I really had in the culture of hip hop, you know.
And the people management skills.
Yeah, and so when, you know, fast forward, I meet Cros promoting at a club. I already had heard of Cros and the noise he was making early on with Freestyle Session. He already had done like 2 or 3 freestyle sessions.
We had done 3 already.
Yeah, he already had done 3 freestyle sessions, but he was making noise, and we had a lot of mutual friends in common. And you know, when you're really in the trenches, you hear when something's happening. So I had heard about what he was doing in San Diego and how he was creating a movement there. So when he was promoting in LA for one of the freestyle sessions, I ran into him promoting outside of a club on Sunset Boulevard, and we just ran into each other, and we, you know, like, it was almost like, now that I look at it, it's like the universe.
He was trying to check me and shit.
Yeah.
No, I was
Who
just
you
like,
work for?
Yeah. he had a freestyle session flyer, and I grabbed the flyer, and I was like, oh shit, who do you work for? And he goes, I work for myself. I'm like, oh, you're Cros? You're Cros? I said, you're Cros? He's like, yeah. I said, oh, I'm Polo. And then he's like, oh, cool. So then I grabbed his flyers, I helped him pass them out. I'm like, let's go inside. We went inside, you know, started popping bottles and having fun. And
the rest is history.
no, like, I told him, if you're ever in LA and you ever need anything, call me. I just, you know, like to always
give me
give
his
the
card.
opportunity to work with anybody, you know, even with like you guys, you know, like, it's kind of like, after a while, you just flow, you know what I mean? And you know that, you know, you might meet a relationship today that turns into a partnership later on down the line. So, I just left the Cros. Whenever you're in LA, you ever need anything, you know, tap in, bro. We're here. We got you, you know. Like, we love your movement. We love what you're doing. Literally, it was like 2 weeks later, he calls me, and he had just lost his venue, and he's like, bro, I lost my venue. I'm fucked. You know, my event is in 2 days. And I was like, don't trip. I got you. We went and took it to a venue that's similar to this venue, right, Cros? So it was at a church down the street from my house, and it was a venue that I knew had like 2 big rooms and perfect floors, and it was an auditorium and a gymnasium, and literally got one of my receptionists at the office to go down to the church and reserve the venue, and we got it. We locked in, and then when I saw what he was doing, and I saw his event, I was like, oh wow, Cros, this is cool. I like what you're doing. I think I can help you grow it, you know?
Yeah.
And what I was looking at is, like, I saw a sick ass battle, and I saw the element of the dance that he had brought to the table. But I was like, what if we also like promote it more, make it more commercial, you know? Probably put a performance element to it. That's really what I was thinking about. Like, how do we add a performance element to it, right? And then he was open to it, and then we started working and started growing and growing and growing and growing and growing and growing, and it's been, what, 28 years, and it's the best, like, it's like we're like brother. Like today, I don't even know. Like today, I didn't even, like, the event was last week. I didn't even know, like, if we were in the positive or in the red. I didn't really care, because if we were in the red, I was like, oh well, we lost. I'm gonna just write it off. But if we're in the positive, that's great. You know? So today I was like the first time I actually opened the budget, and he already went in there and plugged in all the numbers, and I was like, oh shit, we made money? He's like, yeah. I was like, oh damn, bro, I didn't even know we made money.
See,
you know?
and that's what I think a lot of people's misconception with an event like Freestyle Session is that they see the lights, they see all, you know, the glamour of it, and of course the reputation, and they're like, well, they got to be making millions, they got to be making all this money, not realizing how much you guys are actually people who really care deeply about the culture, and don't just look at it as something you could gain or monetary gain from it. You guys are actually investing in helping grow something, right? And it's funny because I don't, like, again, a lot of times us who now have more of a behind the scenes, and we consider ourselves like Freestyle Session babies, B-Boy Summit babies. Like, we were little kids coming to these events that we tell people, like, trust me guys, it's not what you think it is. Like, trust me, they're spending a lot more than gaining back.
Yeah, I mean, we've like used like future profits to do things, and like it's kind of been like 25 years of using future profits where he's like, hey man, when do we get to like actually make some money? I was just like, don't worry, dude, it all makes sense.
One day there's gonna be an Olympics.
You know what it is I I think the reason why Freestyle Session is done so well over the years has been consistent more than any other hip hop. Not just any. Let me just make this straight. Like, it's hard to be consistent and have a consecutive, whether it's a festival, whether it's whatever type of event.
Yeah.
It's hard to have 28 years. That's like not heard of. Okay. It's
you're right.
Usually finances kick in or whatever, but I think the reason why Cros and myself have managed to make Freestyle Session successful over the years is because this is not all we do.
You're right.
You understand? Like, if all we did was Freestyle Session, we probably wouldn't have been able to survive.
That conversation would come earlier.
People don't know this about Cros because he's real quiet and he's really humble, but Cros has got like a whole fucking business going on with, like, you know, automotive business. He's got a retail business. He's got a merchandise business. Cros has got, he's a impresario. So what happens when you're an impresario, you find opportunities, and Cros is not lazy, and he's hardworking, and he's focused, and he's disciplined. He's not doing drugs. He's not on no fuck shit. So his business,
good reputation,
outside of Freestyle Session, is doing great. Right? And same thing for me. Like, outside of Freestyle Session, I got, you know, 5 different portfolios of things that I'm working on. And I think what makes it successful is that we don't depend on what is made at Freestyle Session.
You're right.
That's why today, a week later, I just found out that we were in the profit, that we were positive. But you know, even if we weren't in the positive, I don't care, because to me, when we do Freestyle Session is our baby, but when we do Freestyle Session, it's like cultivating the next generation. It's like getting kids off the street. It's like it does a lot of positive things for the community that I wish there was more events. That's why, like, coming to your event this week, you guys are not our little brothers. You guys are our partners, you know? Like, we like to treat you guys like our partners. We want your event to be bigger than our event one day. And we were, before you walked in, we were just talking about it. Like, you guys are cultivated. You guys are the next ones. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, what good is it if, like, Cros and I come into the scene and do it for 28 years and there's nothing that's birthed out of that? What good is it to do Freestyle Session 100 years or pass it down to our kids, but then
it's only you guys.
But it's only us. And then we didn't birth something else, or we didn't help birth something else, or we didn't just even share knowledge with somebody else. You know, like B-Boy Ives called me, right? Because I have a lot of respect for Ives. Cros always puts me on game, like, hey, check out this guy, check out this guy, check out this guy. And one guy that he put me on games like a couple years ago was this Ives kid, right? And he's like, yo, check out Ives, he's hard, right? And I started looking at him, I'm like, the dude is like, you can tell how intelligent someone is by the way they dance. Yeah, for sure. Right? Like how intelligent mentally they are. And he hit me up and he's like, hey, would you be down to help me with my event? And I said, of course, bro. Yeah. Like that, and that's my attitude with anybody that has a concept, that has drive, that has discipline. Like, if we're gonna do this, let's do this. But you gotta do your part. 'Cause I'm gonna do my part. Yeah. You gotta do your part. You know what I'm saying? And with Cros and I, our relationship has gone beyond that. Like now it's like we just kind of coast when it comes to how we deal with each other. Because at the end of the day, there's so much love and respect for each other that I would never let a business transaction get in the way of that. You know what I'm saying? Like, our kids are raised together, our girls are raised together, our moms, you know, like he lost his dad, I lost my dad. Like, there's a lot, it's deep rooted, you know what I'm saying? Like,
deeper than hip hop.
And that's how it should be, you know what I'm saying? And we want to be an example to the next guys, you know, like you and what you're doing with your organization. Bro, your room's growing. Within our event, your room is growing. And I told him today, I didn't tell Cros, but I told him today, I was like, hey, I think next year we should just get the big club across the parking lot. It holds like 2,000 people and you could just have your own room. And he's like, no, I don't want to do that because it's too far away from where the B-Boys shit is at. And it kills the vibe. And I'm like, I forgot we had tried it already.
Yeah, we tried it. But what I want to touch on is, like, to you, Cros, you know, Freestyle Sessions is your baby, right? You created it. You're the founder. One, how did you feel when you met him? How did you have that intuition or that trust to be like, okay, here's someone that, you know, this is like, because when we created this, one of our biggest problems was trusting people to come on board, and we're like, no, we'll just do it ourselves. And it was a lot harder than we should have made it. You know, how did you have that foresight or that intuition to be able to trust someone like Polo to come on board?
I mean, pretty much that first interaction with him, you know, like I'm like passing out flyers, he grabs a flyer, he's like kind of checking me like, yo, who do you work for, you know? Like, and it's funny because he's always had that same attitude even towards now. Like I see him meeting people and he's like, who are you? Like, you know? So that was like his who are you? And I'm like, I'm Cross One, motherfucker. Who are you? You know, like, so like, and we've always had that back and forth with each other. So like, it was literally like, oh, cool. Like, you're G-Wiz's homie, and I was like, yo, you're G-Wiz homie. So he takes my stack of flyers, he's passing them out, and then he's like, yo, I'm on the list. Let's go into this show. It was, I think it was a Far Side show. Dope. You know, we were like on the top floor at Key Club. And, you know, drinking and, you know, just having a good time. We hung out the whole night. At the end of the night, he gives me his card. He's like, whenever you're in LA, if you need anything, holler. You know, I was like, all right, cool. So, like, literally, you know, I literally had my back against the wall because Cal State LA or Cal State Long Beach, one of the two, hadn't, like, the venue fell through, you know, and I was like, yo, I lost my venue. And he was just like, immediately, like I've known him forever. He was just like, yo, come to LA tomorrow, I'll find you one. Don't worry about it. And I was like, all right, bet. So I literally woke up in the morning, went to his house, or went to his office, and then he's like, yo, you guys are gonna go here, you're gonna tell this lady this. And we lied through our teeth to get to the fucking venue. Because this was in the era where, like, you know, hip hop just wasn't welcome anywhere, you know? So like, we got the venue, the lady literally was like, I'm gonna let you guys use it. I'm actually gonna be out of town. We were like, what the hell? She like literally gave us the keys. She literally was like, I'm gonna have the janitor let you guys in and just make sure you clean up after yourself. All right, cool, like, you know.
Everything aligned.
And we literally did it, and at the end of the jam, I was just like, yo, man, that was fucking sick, because he, you know, he had his whole staff, you know, so we're just, I was like, man, like, that was smoother than it should have been. Even what I was gonna do, you know. So I was like, yo, if you want to keep doing this, let's do it, you know. And he was like, bet, let's do it again, you know. So literally the next time, and like he said, he wanted to inject like a little bit of entertainment. So I mean, dude, he made one call and made Rakim happen. And then I had met Super Nat before that, so I brought Super Nat to the table. I brought the DJ element into it, you know, with the executioners. And it was like part his stuff and part my stuff, and then we did the Freestyle 8 a couple years later, and we did literally a festival, you know. But we almost lost our ass because the Long Beach fucking tried to shut us down.
I was there for that as a kid.
And like, honestly, like, I almost went broke doing that one. And so like we kind of scaled it back and found our.
You guys had Slick Rick performing.
So we kind of found our like our size, you know. So we've been riding the same, like, you know, because a lot of people like the problem with a lot of promoters is they try to go too big too fast.
I always say that.
So like we like to stay under like what we could actually do. We could actually do a bigger 5,000, 6,000 person thing, but like we're just like, dude, like let's just scale it to like where it's just all the people that want to be there. You know, I know there's like a lot of crews that probably didn't show up because maybe they couldn't make the top 32 or whatever. But you know what? If they're just there for the contest, then then you probably don't get it. But the people that actually want to be in the building, they're there. They're soaking up game. They're soaking up the vibe. They're like, you literally travel around the world in one weekend.
100%.
You know what I mean? If you're anybody in the dance scene, you're gonna be there. The other promoters are there looking for the next person to like hire. You know what I mean? Like I don't know how many freaking people go there, and by the time they're out, they've got China's on the line, Japan's on the line.
Their whole next year is planned out.
Dude, like like so. I mean, like it just is what it is, you know. But like I've collaborated with many people, you know, and
that's what I wanted to talk about too.
Like we got our foot in the door with 5, and then it went to 6 and 7, and it grew. So some people, you know, I got my Japan promoter. He's just my homie that I just met randomly, you know, through Street Smart when I was a sponsored breaker. And he literally was open arms, was like, yo, come to Japan, you could stay at my house however long you want. I literally took him up on that. And I freaking went over there, lived there for like 6 months. He gave me all his classes. I was teaching breaking there. And like, he's my brother too, you know? And it's like, I don't know, it's just things that are meant to happen. You know what I mean? And when you, if there's anything that happens that's like a negative, because I've had relationships that just kind of crumbled before they even started. But like, that's what I'm saying, it's just meant to happen. So it's like, you know, I never say no.
Yeah.
You know, some people, they don't even get through the door because they're just like, yo, I got this idea, I want to do this and that. I'm like, all right, get it more going, and then bring it back to me.
Yeah.
And they don't do it because they wanted me to do everything.
They wanted you to do the work.
You know,
yep.
so it's not, you know, so most of the people I work with are movers and shakers. If I tell them that, then they're like, all right, cool, I'm coming back.
Yep.
They got the shit popping. There's like, yo, 100%. Are you down to help or what? Like, yeah, let's get it popping. You know? So, you know, that's how we do tours. That's how we've run. You know, I've ran my clothing company all around the world. You know, that's pretty much how it is. Like, it's open relationships all over. You know,
and I think that's an important topic as well, because something that, like, again, I've gone from being a spectator to competing and winning to judging, hosting, now helping organize with the event, right? And no matter what, ever since I was young, I was like, you can feel opportunity. When you go to Freestyle Session, there's opportunity for growth, opportunity to succeed. And now being more behind the scenes, me and Rock Swift and Pierre are always like, man, how many people Cros and Polo give opportunities to? And if like the public actually knew, they would bug out, because
because people don't even know how you guys got involved with Freestyle Session, because like literally you're helping somebody else that I had brought into it. I brought somebody else to do the popping, and then they were like, we need some local support, so they got you guys, and then they got to the point where they couldn't do it, and then you're just like,
never turn back. We was ready. Hey, we was ready, bro. That's what my headles in us.
That's what Polo says. You know, it's
preparation meets opportunity.
Yes. Preparation meets opportunity is success. You know?
Exactly.
And that's why we're here for however many years that we've been working now, is because of that reason. You know.
Yep. And when people ask us like, how did you guys get involved? And I'm like, we were ready for the opportunity. This X, Y, and Z happened, and we didn't even think twice. And when a very important thing is we follow through with what we like, under promised, over delivered. And a lot of people like to do the opposite, right? And that's what gets them in a bad predicament.
I've had like people that I brought in, and then they're just asking for so much money. It was just like, dude, you act like we can't do this ourselves.
Yeah,
you know.
100%.
So it's like, all right, never mind. We'll just do it ourselves.
If we're gonna pay that much, might as well.
Dude, like some people have just nipped it in the bud before it even started. Like, and it would have been very fruitful for them.
Yeah, of course.
Whatever they're doing, you know.
But they don't have that long-term vision. They don't understand like what it really takes to build something. Because again, they see you at point A, right, or where you're at today, and then that's where they want to start, instead of they don't know the history of how you got there, right? So we have a whole event going on outside. You know, thank you guys so much for your time. Last question, you know, after all these years, after all the success you guys have had, all the businesses and things that you do outside of Freestyle Session, and what is your guys' why? Why continue doing it? Why keep helping the people that you're helping? If what motivates you to this day to still do it?
The next generation, like all the seeds you could plant in the next generation. Like I see these kids, like, you know, you saw I flew some kids last year.
People don't know that. Real quick, Polo every year goes, find me the baddest kid, and we're gonna get him to Freestyle Session.
Yeah, because I want him to battle you know,
the
like
best.
I'm like, I want somebody that's gonna come in and shake up that battle. You know?
Which has happened.
I'm a fan. I'm a popping fan. And
sends a link. He's like, get this kid.
Get this kid. You're like, nope, they can't do it. No visa.
I told a story. Polo texts me a kid he wants, right? And then he sends me the link, and then 10 seconds later he's calling me. I answer the phone. He goes, can you get it done? I was like, I think I'm gonna try. He's like, all right, good. Let me know. And then he hangs up. I was like, all right, let me get on my thing. But yeah, so the youth is very important to you.
Just the next generation, bro. Because a lot of these kids, you don't know their situations, but you know, if you can help. At the end of the day, when you leave this earth, did you leave it a better place?
You're right.
You know what I'm saying? And that means culture. Is our culture a better place? Is breaking a better place because of Cros? Is popping a better place because of you? You know what I'm saying? And what the great 1-8ers have done. It's like, so you cultivate. We're all energy, bro. So if you're like me and I'm like you, we're gonna cultivate each other. I might be a little bit more on top from a financial point of view, but you're more on top from a cultural point of view. You know what I'm saying?
No, you're 100% right.
You're more in the trenches than I am. So we need to stay. We all need to stay relevant. You know what I'm saying?
We call that cultural capital. That's what we bring.
And cultivating, right? Cultivating. Like, I want to cultivate anything that's dope. And if it's dope, we could probably do business. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's what it's about. Cultivating, culture, and whether it's like, Cros and I were talking, we're like, damn, bro, this freestyle dance, all around hip hop shit is popping really hard right now. Like we're already in there. You guys are already in there, but if it gets bigger than we think it's gonna get bigger, there might be an opportunity for us to go and build a platform for them. We already have a platform for the poppers. We already have a platform for the breakers. Guess what, guys? If they don't have a platform, there's no one better than to do a platform than us.
You're right.
And we can help. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not out here like, I don't need to do this, honestly.
That's why I asked that question.
It's fucking Friday at 7:19. I got a 7-year-old, an 11-year-old, and a 4-year-old at the house that I'd rather be at watching movies with, cuddling with them, blah, blah, blah. But instead I'm here because I have to come and pay respect to you, because tomorrow I have to fly out to another event for one of my clients, for one of my artists. So I have to fly there to go give him some FaceTime, you know what I'm saying? But I have to show respect to you.
Thank you so much.
You guys for what you guys do to us. So I'm here. So even though it's like work, it's fun work. Even though it's fun work, it's still work. You know what I'm saying? But
maybe trying to pop his neck and shit.
I know, man.
Trying to fucking pop.
We had to make sure he signed the waiver before he came in, though. We appreciate that, bro. Thank you for coming.
But you know what? I feel fulfilled when like a kid that I flew out last year comes up to me and he flew himself out this year, and he's like, Polo son, he's all, thank you, and it's like, bro, that's a cool feeling, or like Shiggy Kicks, the winner of the champion of Freestyle Session, him and his crew, they wanted to go to Melrose, and I had to take them the money because they were the winners. So he called me and he's like, he speaks perfect English, and he says, hey, can you get me cash? And I say, shit, I don't do that for nobody, bro. I don't get cash for nobody, but I'll get it for you. Because you're that dope.
Guys, do not start asking Polo. He is okay with saying no.
I will say no. But I said, you know what though? The way I look at it is like, if it was Michael Jordan that just won the fucking 303,
it was just in that moment he felt like he was right.
And I was like, cool, I'll take you. So he's all, when I get there, he's all, they were originally gonna go to Disneyland. He's like, hey, can you take us to Melrose? And I was like, sure, but then
I know that place well.
He comes down and he's dressed like a straight up movie star. Like dressed with like some like, Japanese fashion is next level. So he's dressed like a high end, you could tell it's a high end like type of jacket,
designer
pants, designer shoes,
Louis shoes,
the fucking glasses, and his girl.
Not like a b-boy normally does.
No, bro, he does like a movie star, right? Right? And they're all swagged up, right? And they're gonna go to Melrose and Fairfax to go shopping, and then they're like, just drop us off. But if they're robbing fools there right now. So I was like, I'm not gonna leave these kids here. They're gonna get robbed, So I'm like, okay. I'll take us to Supreme. So I take up to Supreme, and then they wanted to go eat Italian. I took them to eat Italian. Then they wanted to go to the Hollywood side. Long story short,
them all day.
Long story short, I called my office. It was like, yo, I'm taking all my meetings from my car. All my Zooms, because Mondays are usually sacked. But I called Cros. I was like, hey, we're not gonna be able to settle today. I'm driving them around, but you know what? For me, I felt like you should treat this guy. He's probably one of the best in the world right now. But not only because his skills, but he's nice, he's humble, he asked to be dropped off. But if we just drop him off and he gets robbed, bro, that's a reflection on us, So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna treat him the way I would like to be treated if I was in Japan, right? So I fucking gave him the red carpet treatment, bro.
That's dope.
And that's how you cultivate relationships, bro. He was so thankful, and he was like, "Are you sure you're not too busy?" I'm like, "Don't worry, I can handle my business still." My wife and my kids were calling. I'm like, "Hey, I'm driving Shiggy Kicks around." My daughter's like, "Let me say hi to him." They talk. I was like, and you just treat people the way you used to be treated. We try. Fortunately, we're in the business, and when we travel, we get treated well when we're other places. So I want to treat him the way, reciprocate that.
And Cros, for you, over all these years, and like again, we're barely on year 14, and we've had those moments, that we're like, man, like what is it all worth? And then we remember why we started. But what is it? What is your why? Why do you keep Freestyle Session going? Why do you keep helping people the way you help people with Freestyle Session? Because you don't need all these other people who are, let me rephrase that. You would look at what you've done and what you've accomplished and think he doesn't need anybody, right? He can do this all on his own. Him and Polo got a strong team. Like, why do you keep doing it the way you do and keep helping the community the way you're doing with your event?
I mean, for me, it's like, it's not my property or his property. It's the community's property. So we're just the curators of it.
Take care of it.
That's what I tell. I was like, we're like curating the weekend.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, you know, I mean, where else are you gonna get a videographer doing highlight reels for you? You know, you're getting photography from the floor to the side, to a photographer doing freaking, you know, portraits on the side. I mean, dude,
everything in between.
You got gear. You have a hip hop shop at your disposal. You got freaking people massaging you on the side. Sports massage. You know, like it's everything I want in an event.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I mean, the only thing that was lacking this year was probably like an MC element, but that's more because when I read the room in the last couple years, we dumped a lot of money into that. You know, but I didn't really think that the whole crowd was into
to see
it.
the battles, bro.
So they were the real focal point at Freestyle Session is the dance. So I was like, you know what? Let's just put extra money into the dance and extra stuff into cultivating that. So, you know, for me, it's what I want in an event personally. If I was still breaking, and also like just as a fan, and then also like what I believe the youth deserves. You know, in a weekend. So like,
and also girls, we've been getting a lot of love from girls that are like, man, like there hasn't been a platform for the girls to dance all styles.
His sister came and she was tripping out because you know, breaking, you know, say like 20 years ago was predominantly like at a B-boy jam is 95% guys, and the rest of the 5% were girls that were like girlfriends. You know? Now you have the B-girl category. You have females running over like some of the poppers and the open styles, and of course the whacking is very, very even, and the locking, like, you know, so it's very inviting.
There's representation. You know? There's representation, and that's definitely something that you do a good job at, not only with the women, right, with all categories, but that is something that's interesting. That
and the kids, a lot of kids,
right? They can come and they feel that instantly. But so we're just curating the environment.
We're cultivating the environment, because another thing Cros did that I was so proud of him for doing, I never told him, but I'm telling him now, is that he did the day before Freestyle Session. This is the first time they do it. They did a kids battle.
Oh yes,
we did the youth.
And last year, one of the kids hosted a battle at a store, and we went and gave the winner a skateboard. I remember that. But this year, Cros was smart. You know, he was just like, yo, I'm gonna do this kids battle. I'm like, hey, do whatever you're gonna do, right? Whatever Cros says, that's what we do. You know, he tells me what we're doing, that's what we do. But he's, I'm doing a kids battle. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Why don't you do it at our venue? But okay, cool. You're doing it at the hotel, right? But supposedly you guys had a like 400 person turnout, right?
Well, we did a whole nationwide tour with Jack in the Box, and then we flew all the winners for that, and then we paid for the people to be there for the extra days, so that our youth battle was just even better. You know,
So if you notice more kids at Freestyle Session, it was because they went to the day before.
You notice they're the ones ciphering. Because ciphers is another lot.
Kids are repping more than
you see the kids. They're ciphering everywhere and stuff. But thank you guys so much. You know, I definitely want to do a podcast with you guys.
Thank you, because you guys, what you guys are doing is no different than what we're doing. You know what I'm saying? What you guys have started cultivating is the same thing. If anything, like in the West Coast, like we need that. You know, like there's no other real. I mean, there's the Poppers Picnic. You know that stayed there in the picnic in the park, which is cool. You know, that type of stuff is needed as well. But I feel like yours is the one that's like every year it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And I'm so proud of what you guys are doing. Don't stop. And you guys know that you guys have 150% of our support.
Always.
At all times.
Thank you guys so much, man. Thank you, Cros. Thank you, Polo. This is Localz Only, Flavor of the Year edition. Let's go.
Let's get it.